What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So today we're going to jump right on in and we're going to look at my first impressions for Malekith. So Malekith is joining us with his War of the Realms look, and I have to admit the uniform looks absolutely amazing. We get a traditional looking Malekith between his light and dark side, and then you just get the Venom symbiote just like coursing over his body. And you get the tongue as well that's inside here. I think the uniform looks absolutely amazing. Pretty good looking uniform overall. Can't complain. If you haven't read the War of Realms storyline, I would suggest that you go read it. It's a really good storyline. Lord of the Wild Hunt. It's so funny that we have those. Now, want to point out that Malekith is available inside the support shop, so you can get his items from there. This makes him free to play, so this is a good thing for the character overall. But then that's about where it ends for the good side. So let's get into what I view as the bad, right? And the ugly, right? So essentially, Malekith's uniform gets some really bad, uniform options, right? First up, we get Kitty Pryde, right? Kitty Pryde is sitting there as Red Queen. It's a good uniform for Kitty Pryde, not anything necessarily groundbreaking. She doesn't jump into the meta or anything like that. And the bad part about this is that this is a X-Genes daily subscription inside here. So they've made the X-Gene daily subscription a little bit better by giving you 30 instead of 20 genes. X-Genes, but the problem is that this is basically a paywalled uniform as one of his Malekith's uniform options. Now that wouldn't be so bad except for what's coming next in terms of like what we talk about. So essentially you got Malekith, Kitty Pryde, bad uniform option there. It's the best uniform for her, but that means that this uniform, to get those max stats out, you're essentially looking at either paying the cost for the X-Genes or the Mega Uniform upgrade ticket. So this is putting that at about a $40 value already for Malekith's uniform on top of the 1,000 crystals that you paid. Then we get Captain America Sharon Rogers in her light Sirius armor uniform. So another bad uniform option, because who's going back to Captain America light Sirius armor? Nobody. We have a new uniform for her in the Poseidon armor, and why would we go back to her light Sirius armor? So bad uniform option number 2. So batting 2 out of 5 here for bad uniform options, but it gets worse. They then expect you to go all the way back to Secret Wars Infinity Thanos, and you're somehow expected to go back not 1, not 2, and not 3, but 4 uniform options. So you're going back almost 5 uniform options to purchase a 1,500 crystal uniform option for Thanos that ain't nobody touching. This uniform should basically be available for gold at this point. That is not like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, no, it ain't, it's not it, right? So like, bad uniform option number 3. And this is the worst uniform option I've seen on a costume in a long while. Terrible uniform option. Then we get uniform option number 4. It's Drax. It's Drax, guys. So I won't say that necessarily this is a bad uniform option, because it's Drax's latest uniform option, but at the same token, it's Drax. It's like, it's giving return from nowhere. Like, it's Drax's best uniform option. I try not to be, you know, pissed off about a character getting a uniform option for a character that people tend to like, especially if it's their new uniform option. But essentially, with 3 bad uniform options, you're going into like, at this point, is anybody suggesting that you play, you know, Drax in any game mode? No, you're not. Realistically, you're not. So that's bad. 4 bad uniform options. We'll call it 3.5 depending on how you look at it. And then we get into number 5, where we finally see some light of day, and we get Hawkeye Kate Bishop for her uniform option. It's the newest uniform for her, and it's inside her Marvel Studios Hawkeye, so not a whole lot of bad there, right? But I want to point this out. So you're basically at like 3.5, 4 out of 5 for uniform options. It's terrible. It just is. It's terrible. So here goes the part that like baffled me the most, though. This is the part that I want to get to that baffles me the most. Okay, so let's go inside here. We got his passive skill, which increases basic damage to superhero faction by 120%. That's pretty nice on Dark Blessing. He increases the skill damage by 40% and a bonus damage by 35% and decreases the basic damage received by 20%. It's a really nice passive skill on him. We then get the 20% increase of HP, and he increases chain hit damage by 10% attacking. And when he's below 30%, he recovers 60% of his HP. Another nice passive, keeps him alive. And then his Wild Hunt leadership, nothing really to write home about. When debuff, you get a 30% increase of energy defense, and he removes all debuffs. Like, nobody gives a fuck about the energy defense at all whatsoever. So let's take a look at the preview on his skills before we jump right back into looking at him. So I don't know what to say about this update, especially for Malekith. I'm gonna get to the ugly part about this in a second, but let's address just the skills and how they look to give you some ray of hope that I'm not just totally shitting on the uniform. I like the fact that he has the 15% of his HP activation there when he recovers, so he's got a really nice recovery effect under just the uniform effect alone. 15% HP is not bad, right? And then he also gets his passive skill where he gets another HP, so a recovery of 60% of his HP, so he should make out pretty nicely there, right? So first ability, Blade of Darkness, not a whole lot there. He just got bleed, and then that's it on the skill. So you're not coming around to the skill. You pretty much know that right away. Then we get his number 2 skill. We get to see the summon wings. I don't know why, but with his wings, I automatically think of Ukira from Bleach. If you haven't watched the anime, then, you know, my bad. But that's what he makes me think about when I see his wings spread. But it looks really cool, right? Seeing that coming there. But immediately, I think of Ukira from Bleach. Like, go play Bleach Brave Souls or something like that, and you'll see what I mean. And then we get his 3rd skill. So there was stun and paralysis on a 2 skill. His 3rd skill is called Agonized Strike, and he has Fear and Incapacitation. He gains the Super Armor, which increases all basic defense by 40%. He gets Barrier for 10 times for 6 seconds. And then he gets a nice Frenzy buff of 51 and 35. So not too bad. Like it just, like, I don't know why, like, I like the uniform because it's just giving me so much Ukira vibes. Like, seriously. Netmarble, go get the Bleach license so that way you can do something in this vein for the game for Bleach. Like, I would love to see Netmarble develop a Bleach game that isn't all the Bleach bullshit games that are running out there. Anyways, but let's go back inside. So then we got Sinful Blade, which is his 4th skill, and you get the stun, fear, and paralysis, which ignores immunity. And then he gets another 30% of HP recovery on this skill. So that's 3 skills, or 3, yeah, passive, uniform effect, and a skill that has a recovery effect. This one has 30% of HP. He also gets invincible for 6 seconds, and he increases all basic attacks by 50% for 10 seconds. So you got the lead in already here. He's got a frenzy on 1. He gets the all basic attack for 10 seconds over here. So we probably going in some rotation of 5-3 or I don't know. 5-4-3 maybe. We'll have to see. Let's see. I think it's gonna probably be 5-4-3 because his accumulations on his 5th skill. But let's take a look at the 4th skill. Sinful Blade. I love the teleportation, very reminiscent of his abilities to utilize magic, and the uniform looks absolutely amazing. Like, these are not skills that you see in other places, right? Like, you're not getting these skills anywhere else on any other characters. I don't think these are like, there's a lot of times when they develop characters where you'll look at that character and you can be like, yeah, you know what? I've seen that skill on somebody else, and people will, you're not seeing these skills. These are new skills, VFXs on characters. It looks really amazing seeing him pop around. Maybe Nightcrawler might have something. I doubt it, right? Doubt it. So nice skill damage on there. Love the recovery effect inside of it as well. It pops off right in the beginning. So good times there. Then we get his 5th skill, which is called Curse Realm. This one has fear, paralysis. We get a decrease all basic defenses, which is 50%. Then we get a 100% chance to grant all damage immunity. And then he get his damage accumulation for pure damage on his skill. So you basically are looking at probably a 5-4-3 combination here. Maybe something changes up a little bit with his thing. I'm dying to see, like, now I'm interested to see how that's gonna work. 5-4-3 looks like the combo for me, right? But I hadn't played around with the skill effects inside here. Now, here goes the part where we return somewhat to the ugliness, right? Is because Malekith, instead of getting a tier 3, right? Like, it's weird because we're in the tier 4 meta, right? Basically, like, we'll compare the characters that he has to compete against, but he doesn't even get a tier 3. He gets a potential transcendence. Malekith, King of the Dark Elves, Malekith, the dude that went on a plunder throughout the 9 realms. Malekith, the dude that we saw in Dark World that posed a worldly, earthly level threat. Malekith, the dude who caused Thor to lose his damn arm. That Malekith gets a potential transcendence. Make it make sense to me. And I get it, right? Like, potential transcendence is like, you know, it's not supposed to be like a sub to tier 3 necessarily, but that's what it is. It's like tier 2.5 and tier 3 is 3, right? And sometimes we get characters that are like tier 3 equivalency inside of there, which I expect what Malekith is probably going to be, right? Inside the game, he's probably the equivalency of a tier 3 at potential transcendence, but you could have just gave him the tier 3 whatchamacallit on it. So it's just like makes no sense. And the transcendence works with Ulik of all people. Like, I get it, they're on the, you know, council together or whatever, but for real. So on his potential transcendence skill, his Awakens skill, he gets stun, paralysis. He gets critical rate increased by 35, critical damage by 35, ignore target's dodge rate by 70, invincible, removes all debuffs, and increase basic damage by 50 for 1 attack, and increase all basic attacks by 25. So, not bad. Let's take a look at what the skill looks like. Ulik pops in, which is just terrible. I am so tired at this point, especially as deep as we are into the tier 4 meta, of seeing characters get transcendence without getting an actual uniform. Like, Ulik is sitting over here as part of this transcendence and he has no uniform. Again, so tired of seeing this nut marble. Like, you've got to stop this. Like, it is terrible. Like, yay, Ulik gets to get a promotion for his Awakened skill, so he gains his skill, but the rest of the kit is so damn old, nobody's really wanting to awaken Ulik. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. So anyways, let's take a look at the combo session inside here. So, okay, so I was wrong completely. 3-5-4, not 5-4-3. I wonder why we're going 3-5-4 instead of 5-4-3. We've got the 3, which gives him the frenzy buff. Let's see. So maybe there's something there to do with the cancellation on the skill. So we got 3, 5, and then a slight delay. Very ever so slight delay. And it's nice because you basically roll into 5 and it has the accumulation, so it's going to last throughout there, and then the 4 is going to last throughout that whole entire skill for 4. So like I get it. Okay, so like the 3 skill, probably not long enough. You're canceling out of this skill really quickly. All the buffs is happening at the beginning, and even the damage on the target is happening at the beginning. So okay, so the frenzy into the accumulation and then into 4, and this one has the long window. So all right, so we're going 3, 5, and then 4 is a slight delay inside there. So let's reset the combo, make sure I get it right. It looks like when he jumps down, so 3, 5, and then boom, 4. So like he jumps up in the air, and just as he starts to come down is what it looks like, and then you just let the skill play out. Not a bad combo. Looks like some pretty decent hit damage inside there, chain hits, so that's not too bad. And then we basically get the combo 6, 3, 5, 4. So 6, summon in, 3, 5, and then a slight delay cancels. Like just as he gets up in the air and he starts to come down, you can roll through that skill and get it. So not bad overall. Here goes the problem that I have with Malekith. Uniform looks good, VFX looks good. There doesn't appear to be any SFX on there, like there's no sound to it, whatever. Or, you know, like I don't hear any audio. I said VFX and SFX. I mixed the two up. SSX and then VFX, voice effects. There's no voice effects on the character to jump off with. So like, here goes the problem, right? So Malekith's a blast character, right? So let's go into your all elements and let's go with just blast characters. And we'll go with characters right now who are super villains, right, of all species. So essentially, what you're going to have Malekith up against is the likes of Magneto, right? Magneto's in here, and there's going to be one I'm going to mention. Magneto, he's got to compare to Ebony Maw, which I suspect he's going to eclipse Ebony Maw easily. You've got the potential for a tier 4 coming in terms of Mephisto, so he's got to compete against these 3 characters at the very least. He still has to compete against MODOK, although I don't think there's very much competition there. He should surpass MODOK, right? And then what are we else looking at? So potentially out of the rest of this class of male, because I don't want to compare him to the female villains, right? Although you will have to compare him just alone in this update to Enchantress, but realistically, let's just compare him to male class villains, right? Clearly, like, she's had her time in Day. I don't think that she's still in there. None of these characters, like anybody, like, you're not going to care about. So now there's one other character that you do have to compare him to, because you could still go Blast supervillain with this character, and that's Iron Man, right? Because don't forget, if we were to go in Iron Man's uniform pool, he does have his superior Iron Man uniform, which turns him into a villain, right? So you could go that, and he would still have to compete against Iron Man as well. Within just the Blast tier tree, when you look at the Blast male characters that are in the game, so let me see, can I go Blast male? I guess I can't. I don't know how to do that. Like, whatever. Male characters, I don't know how to fucking do that. All right, whatever. So then you're comparing him against just the normal Blast male characters, and he's probably not going to stack up to a lot of just these normal Blast male characters, especially with updates coming. Like, it just is what it is. So essentially, you're looking for where the place is for Malekith to basically sit and transcend the current meta. And I have this big fear. I like that he has so much HP bonuses going on, but when I look at the characters, like, you know, overall skill abilities and like his uniform effect, I don't know that there's a place necessarily for Malekith that warrants you needing to pay the 1,050 crystals plus the bad fucking uniform options. I mean, Kitty Pryde was expensive enough as hell for you to just jump in and use that, but adding Thanos to the mix, like, that's an expensive uniform. That's an expensive resource hog to basically get this uniform up. So if you don't have good cards, you're probably going to fail out on uniform options there. Like, I'm set pretty much. Like, it's relatively easy, even with my card set at this point, to hit those max levels. And I don't have like breaking, you know, I just got him equipped with an extreme obelisk, so it's not like I'm like leveling him up somewhere else. You know, there's nothing there, so it's like, it is what it is. Now Malekith is also going to get a artifact with this update, which is increases basic damage dealt to enemies with 50% HP or below. It's a pretty shitty artifact, so nobody cares about it really, realistically overall. The question though is, and remains, is like, where does this character fit in? Like, it's one of those bad parts. So what I want to do is I'm going to level him up to level 80, just because why am I using those? I just don't know. I'm disappointed a little bit, because I feel like Malekith is a perfect example of where we currently sit with the game in terms of the tier 4 meta and you having characters going to be eclipsed. He just points to me of segments to come, essentially. What I mean is, like, you still have other characters, like, for instance, the first one that jumps off on my plate, we just had this done to Shuri, where she didn't get a tier 4, she had to get a tier 3 because, you know, she was below that already at tier 2, so she gets the movie where she actually is wearing the Black Panther uniform, but then we get nothing. By the way, Netmarble, could you do something about the level up process and make it so that way the fucking resource that we now get the bonus from is up at the top? Would just be better, right? So anyways, but we didn't get that. So then you have other characters, the likes of like, well, Blue Marvel got his tier 4, but then you get like Nova, for instance, or Gladiator, or some of these character types that we've got in the past, and those characters essentially don't have tier potential transcendences, or, you know, awakenings or tier 3s, and you essentially understand what's coming unless they decide to change up the model there. You're gonna end up with a character that's gonna basically still be at the bottom of the pool, because they're never gonna make a potential transcendence character, you know, any better than a freaking tier 4 character. It's just not gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna get a potential transcendence on the likes, I guess, of a tier 3 necessarily, like every single time, and especially let alone a free-to-play character like Malekith. Like, it just, I don't see it. I missed his bio somehow. Like, I really wish they would fix this so that way, like, the bios for the character that you have in question, they go to the top. Like, why is it like, you know what I mean? Like, what is this? I don't get it. I don't get it. So I missed out on his bios for some odd reason. Like, it's not that he's not an easy character to spot either. Like with his little portrait pics that he has there. There he goes. 1520 is what he has. So 983 before that. I hope that he doesn't just get relegated to. Why does this not become his portrait picture? Is the question for me. I hope that he doesn't become relegated to Shadowland. Like, we used to have that a lot, but I don't know that it's happened so much so often that you get the character there. And I'm hoping that that doesn't become the case. Like, I think Malekith is a little bit more deserving of his place in terms of the comics and where he goes. It's just weird to see my man just get the shaft the way he did. Just really weird to see him get the shaft the way he did. I don't know what to say about it, realistically. A little disappointed there, but I like the uniform overall. So let's take this. I don't really do this a lot because it's not my jam, but I feel like I got to get him to at least level 70, so that way I can get inside the skill tree and make some use of this. Let's level that up, and let's just have him at. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for me to do that. So what I'll do is just normal enhance this. I'm running out of materials, and I'm really nervous about using these materials because I still got Odin to level up in tier 4. I don't have enough materials to do it. So, and I do have the back pocket usage of basically getting after Odin for using story mode missions in order to recoup some of the resources I'm playing on. But I like Malekith's look inside this, and I feel like there's probably going to be a greater ceiling height than I hope for with the character. It's just that I don't see him necessarily taking over any of the spots that I have for, you know, characters to be used. Like against a tier 4, he's not going to surpass them. Like I said, it's just weird. The dude deserves way more than a potential transcendence. Like, it's fucking Malekith. Granted, I know that he's not the most popular character, but, you know, villain let alone. But dude's pretty. He's swinging below his belt with a potential transcendence, is what I'm trying to say. So what I want to do is let's transcend him. Yeah, let's transcend him. All right, so we got him transcended. I always like to share my alliance. Nobody's really in my alliance, but it is what it is. So let's awaken him. We've got him with no Urus or anything like that. Don't even have him ranked up inside his rank. Like, that's how bit of a character he was. Like, I pretty much used Malekith for like I think I used Malekith for like straight up like I don't even have any type enhancement. I think I pretty much straight up used him for just like low level what do you call it, low level Shadowland clears, and that was it. Like, for real. I don't think like there was any intent for that. All right, we're just gonna go with that because I don't want to waste resources on the character necessarily. So what I want to do is let's go and set up a team for this character inside here for World Boss, and we'll end the video with a run on World Boss. Let's see. Who they gonna be? Gore. Oh Lord. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna do it at tier 2. I'm not one of those cats that like want to push high levels. This is not me. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't me. I'm not gonna do that. It's stupid to even pretend to you guys that I'm always pushing levels. I've consistently told you guys over the course of videos, especially for like, you know, new players and stuff like that, there really is no reason at all for you to push higher levels unless you want the rewards that come with every 5 or so levels or the chance to get those rewards. But there ain't no reason, right? Just very little reason for that. So let's go. Where's Malekith? All right, there we go. All right, so Malekith, 30%. We're not gonna use that buff like at all. Let's go leader. I think, who is it? We could use Kitty. I think could use Kitty. Tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk still good. I'm struggling to figure out who I want to use here for leadership abilities. What is she? Is she just combat types? Yeah, she's just combat types. She's superhero allies. What does she got? Speed types. I can't remember the characters at all inside here. We'll go with allies. I thought that what's her face was in here. Am I missing the person that I'm really supposed to be going for? Is what it is. All right, we'll go with this. We'll go with this team inside here because I think she has the passive ability. All allies or debuff effects, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go with that. We'll just go with the random generated team. So the combination was 3, 5, delay, cancel 4, and then 6, 3, 5, delay, cancel 4. All right, I don't think that he's gonna hold up against So 3, 5, delay, cancel. Wow, cancel him out of that. Damage not looking so good. Damn, what is up with that? Alright, damage not too bad there. Like, he's got some damage going on. So 6, 3, 5, delay, cancel, 4. Let's see. Is that 4 or 5 bars? Okay. I did not expect that. Oh shit. Is he gonna survive? I swear to God, when I record these videos, it's hard for me to see. Like, no kidding? It's stage 2, so it's not like you gotta like do a whole lot, but damage is a little bit impressive for what I expected the character to be able to do. So we got this encroaching. So not strong enough to get past the damage, although I did take some hits in there. I just want to see what it's going to take for him to get... Damn it. He is surviving these hits, though, from Gore. Like, that's impressive. So we got to switch out because we're about to get killed. Failed to stop Gore. Ain't that some shit. Alright, so Malekith's back up. 3, 5. That time on that 4th skill is forever. That's ridiculous how long that's taken. 3, 5. Oh man, look how long the delay time on that 4th skill is. 3, 5, 3. It's like it's not even up. I'm like reminiscent of Thor over here. Ooh. I could play this way better than what I just did. He's got some nice damage though. I think and his survivability is crazy because he was definitely taking some hits from Gore for sure. That I think even at stage 2 you would have seen other players or other characters like not be able to hold up to that. Damn, like he missed all the damage. And the delay time between that 4th skill is just ridiculous. Like, see, like it's not even up and ready by the time the other skills cancel. It's like forever animation. I messed up and pressed that. Alright, let's get this 6 skill. 6, 3, 5. Look at that damage when it does hit. That's not, oh, he got killed in the end. Alright. So I think like overall for me, I think the character kit, like there's potential here. He's definitely better than I thought he was going to be, and I'm not the greatest player. So if I can almost clear Gore, even at stage 2 with the character, then it's a good, like, that's a good character for the thing. It's just at that point comparing him to other characters, who am I going to clear quicker? I'm not gonna use another character for like against Gore to play World Boss Legend. I have my normal rotation of characters, and he's just not gonna compare with these. Now, I think you'll have players like Cynic Alex, Beast Mode, Forgo, and Lot who will put him up against higher levels where you do need a blast mail supervillain, and he will probably perform very well inside there. Remember, throughout that run, I didn't have any Uru at all equipped to him. I don't have a good custom gear on him, like at all. So like it's crazy. He doesn't have an artifact, and he has basic uniform options inside here. So I haven't done a lot for the character at all. And he was able to get ahead and play with his level 2. No. So Norse. I said no, Gore. So I think the character overall probably not as bad as a kit as I think. This is my first impression. I'm gonna play around with the character a little bit more, and I'll double back on you guys because I do love Asgardians and the 9 realm type characters. I know that's like weird to say 9 realms since that includes regular Earth characters, but you know what I mean, like those non-earthen characters that are in that realm. So I'll come back. I've already given you first impression here, and I'll give you first impression, second follow-up on Malekith and Enchantress to come. So thank you guys for your time. Until next time, peace.